That was definitely an insightful session. At MDIS, we offer a comprehensive range of academic programs to suit various interests and career objectives in areas of business, engineering, fashion and design, health and nursing, life sciences, technology, media and communications, safety and environmental management, psychology, tourism and hospitality, and languages and education from diploma to doctorate level. Now, if you are considering a career in tourism and hospitality, stay tuned for the next session by Mr. Isaac, head of School of Tourism and Hospitality, with extensive hospitality experience in both the domestic and international hospitality arena. Take it away, sir.
Thank you very, very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to MDIS School of Tourism and Hospitality's presentation for this afternoon. I know it's lunchtime, and thank you everyone for tuning in. For those in Singapore and for those globally, thank you again for joining us. My name is Isaac, and I represent the School of Tourism, and today we're going to share with you why we are Singapore's premier education provider for tourism, hospitality, and events. It's an exciting afternoon for us today. This is the session outline for today as we embark on justifying Singapore's premier education provider, MDIS. We have a host of lineups for you. First of all, we'll begin with the introduction of the tourism industry, and I think that's something everybody would like to hear as well, considering the current climate. We'll be sharing with you our award-winning tourism, hospitality, and events program as well. On top of that, we'll be taking you through the active learning approaches that we embrace here seriously in MDIS School of Tourism. We accommodate students not only from Singapore, but also an international clientele. So I'll share with you the active learning approaches for our international curriculum. This will be coupled with students' testimonies at different aspects of the presentation, and the different skill development initiatives and methods that we employ within MDIS. So like I said, it's been a busy afternoon or morning for us over here, and later on I'm going to share with you why we've been so busy earlier in this morning. All right, stay tuned. I'm going to share with you today's Singapore Book of Records that we have achieved just a few minutes ago, right? And I'm going to keep that towards the end of today's session. So please stay tuned, no matter where you are, whether you're having lunch or not, right? Let's begin this presentation. So the biggest question today is what's happening to the travel industry? When are we going to travel? So yeah, these are tough questions today, but let me share with you some reports on what's happening over here, all right, to convince you. The first was actually by TripAdvisor earlier this year. So according to history, right, in the past we have seen a couple of these pandemics come, but the travel industry has been incredibly resilient. It has rebounded. Travelers' demand has come back again, all right? In some, the world is still hungry for travel, just like you are right now, just like I am right now. We're all just waiting for the next opportunity to travel. And we're also seeing around the world the governments putting in a lot of effort to cushion the pandemic, trying to reach out, and assist the industry like what we're seeing in Singapore, all in the hope of sustaining and opening up the borders to travel again. So the question here is, when will we travel again? Next year, 22 or 23? Tough question, and the answer is, we will travel again, right? And let me explain how or why. So in the road of recovery, what we're seeing in Singapore, for an example, is the gradual opening of the economy. We are right now in phase 2. It was a tough phase 1. We're glad we are here right now, and it's glad to see things returning back to normal slowly. We're seeing the government working really hard in terms of air travel for business travelers, official travelers in terms of green lane and fast lane with different countries out there. And recently we're also hearing news of the government, in terms of the leisure sector working out air travel passes with countries within Asia Pacific like Brunei, New Zealand, Australia, and so on. So these are positive signs, for us to view the industry as in the future of the industry. Now, on top of that, we are also seeing that the Singapore government working very hard to promote domestic tourism. We're seeing a lot of hotels promoting staycations. We're seeing the government working on distributing tourism vouchers soon. So all in the hope of revitalizing, rejuvenating this industry, right? And preparing eventually for more seamless travel with countries around the world. Recently we heard, or just 2 days ago, we heard about the news between Singapore and Hong Kong, where seamless travel is been looked into and quarantine will be made away with. So these are positive signs, and again lead to the road of recovery. And I think the biggest news right now is also about Phase 3. The government is working hard to finalize details of Phase 3, and a lot of us are looking forward to Phase 3. So what is Phase 3 all about? So Phase 3 is even more bigger opening of the economy. We're going to see more events come back, perhaps more live performances. We're going to see bigger numbers allowed to mingle together, and yes, all towards the gradual reopening. And finally, of course, the best news would be the vaccine, and that would make things, much better and definitely promote the opening up of the borders globally. So we're on the right track, and just like my previous speaker, Mr. Chan, who actually happens to sit on the board with us, also says, it's quite difficult to control things out there, but we can control things within. All right? And one of that ways to prepare yourself for this industry, or for the reopening of the industry. So let's share with you how we do this. Just a little bit of data about tourism arrivals pre-COVID. If you can see, we had 1.5 billion. That's a new record for 2019, international tourist arrivals around the world. And if you notice carefully, you would see that the biggest, so the second biggest share was actually within the Asia and the Pacific region. And this shows the potential of tourism within this area. Besides being the largest continent and the most populated area, there's so much more development opportunities for tourism over here. We are seeing so many countries around Singapore embarking on various tourism development, nationwide initiatives, and that is all pointing in the direction of what the World Travel and Tourist Council has predicted, which is 1.8 billion international tourist travelers by 2013. So there's great potential, and this is actually post-COVID. We're all looking at more travelers. In fact, we believe, here in MDIS, it could in fact be much more than 1.8 billion by 2030. All right? So the future looks good, the prospect looks good, and if you look around, a lot of governments are more or less on the road of recovery. They kind of understand COVID much better, and they're able to put in place, different strategies and initiatives to manage and to open up the industry. So let me share with you how wide this industry is. Quite a difficult industry to actually define because of the various services and products provided for various groups of travelers. But in general, the main components are air traveling or travel planning, transportation, the different type of transportations. And as we can see that Singapore is becoming a hub not only for airlines but for cruise. The different type of accommodations, those are a big sector. In Singapore, we have more than 400 over hotels, different types of hotels, different local travel, food, and shopping. All right. In terms of restaurants, we have about more than 7,000 restaurants in Singapore. Yes, you're right. That's one of our national pastime, eating. Right. And of course, the different tourist sites. And this is just the breadth of the travel and tourism industry. Of course, behind this, there's so much more suppliers and intermediaries who supply and support, these main players out there. So quite a big industry to look at in terms of going out there and, finding yourself out there. So let me share with you some career opportunities that we also promote within MDIS for our local students over here. Right? So within travel and tourism, yes, those are the options over there: airlines, cruise, retail sales, visitor information, and we have students who are actually everywhere. MDIS has been around since 1956. The tourism product has been here for more than a decade, and during this time we have seen our students move into so many of these sectors, industry, and develop themselves to a very nice position today. Some of them are owners, some of them are in top management, senior management, mid-management. Now the other one is accommodation. That's another area where you can actually find yourself. Some of you would prefer the front of the house for those who enjoy, meeting people from different parts of the world and working with people from different parts of the world as well. Some of you might like the back of the house, like HR or, finance or sales and marketing. We've also got entertainment and recreation. And yes, again, we have some of our students are also in Universal Studio within Singapore and other parts of the world. Actually, accommodation and F&B is one of the priorities for our students here. So in terms of F&B, we have a lot of our students, not only in Singapore, but around the world within this sector as well. Events management, another anchor of MDIS. We have a lot of students today who happen to be taking a keen interest in events to understand the whole structure. And this is also aided with Singapore being the #1 MICE city in the world. And of course, many more out there. So there are various, career pathways for you to consider out there, to find yourself, and to move across to, right? Now in MDIS, the emphasis is on 21st century skills. Definitely preparing you for skills for the future. And as you can see here, these are the skills outlook from 2022 onwards. We are very blessed to have a lot of different stakeholders with us who share the same objective in terms of education, who advise us. And I'll share with you some of these people as we move on. So the focus very much here is on analytical skills, right? Problem-solving skills. As you can see in number 6, complex problem solving. We put you in a situation with different people or different learners from around the world. Now in MDIS here, each of the class is very international. If you walk to any class, you could easily experience 10 to 15 different cultures in the form of the learners that you see there. We say that MDIS is an international school. So in terms of problem solving, it takes a very different dimension when you have people from different countries, working together on projects. We're not sure what is the problem yet, but we are able to share with you the structure, the approaches in problem solving. Leadership, emotional intelligence, which is very important for our industry as well. And yes, reasoning skills, systems analysis. So these are all embedded, incorporated into our different active learning approaches for the different programs that we offer in MDIS. All right, so how is all of this done in the School of Tourism and Hospitality? Let me show you. Let's start with the programs. So we start with our professional diploma program in tourism and hospitality. This is a 7-month program with the fundamentals of front office, F&B, food knowledge, housekeeping. So this professional diploma caters to people who want to quickly transit into the hospitality industry. So when I use the word hospitality industry, I'm referring specifically to the accommodation and food and beverage sector, including our caterers, right? So this actually helps people who want to quickly explore the industry. Now for those who want to continue and to equip themselves further with the management skills, they move on to the International Foundation Diploma in Travel Tourism and Hospitality Management. Now this has 8 modules on the different areas of travel tourism and hospitality. And then from here, our students would move into the higher diploma, depending on where they come from, because some of them are able to meet the entry requirements and move into higher diploma. So the higher diploma is the final step before you move into the final year of your degree. So why do I say that? It has 11 different modules, and internship is a big component. So it's been a bit difficult right now to find internship for our students, you know why, but we're still able to get internship for a majority of our students, right? Especially within the food and beverage sector right now, which is doing kind of well, right? And we hope that the hotel industry recovers, so then our students can, move into the hotel or the events industry as well. So with all that is gained, our students would move into the Bachelor of Science Honours. This is by the University of Sunderland, top 10 university in UK for travel, tourism and events. So we are privileged to partner and work with them. And for those students who want to continue, and in fact we're seeing a lot of our students right now continue into the masters, and hopefully by the time they complete the masters, things would be much better. So we are seeing a lot of them move into the Master of Science for Tourism and Hospitality. This is a 12 months module. And for those who are not able to join us in Singapore, some of them opt for the online version. So perhaps at this point of time, I should share with our local viewers and our global audience that all classes adopt a hybrid approach. So even though classes take place in campus, or where the practical training takes place in campus, our learners who are not in Singapore are able to tune in at the same time. So every class is converted into a hybrid kind of delivery setting, right? So, but for students who are not able to do that and join our online classes on a daily basis because of work or other commitments, then we would recommend the Edinburgh Napier University. So this is a 100% online MBA, and within 21 months, you would have to complete the different modules. There are a total of 8 modules, and you would be able to, time yourself and pace yourself. Right? So that's the opportunity for the advantage of Edinburgh Napier University. Okay, so let's move on a little bit more, right? Before we move on to the visuals of School of Tourism and Hospitality, because I believe visuals, right, they speak much louder than words. So let's keep moving. Okay, so earlier on I mentioned that our programs are award-winning programs. So yes, in 2018 we were very privileged to win the Best Hospitality and Tourism Education in Singapore. This was actually achieved via public votes and conducted by Job Central. Now, why were we able to do this? One of the reasons is also because of our various USPs. So I'm going to share with you very quickly the USPs that we focus on. Of course, number one is the curriculum. And we ensure, thanks to our industry advisory board, that the alignment of the curriculum is in line with the industry and the upcoming future. We are not able to look 5 or 10 years, but we're able to look for at least within the next 5 years and plan our students accordingly. Right? Changes are happening so fast, so it's very important that every year we sit down and we look at what are the changes and incorporate and revise the curriculum, and that's a big thing that we do over here. We have the facilities, and later the visuals, we're going to show them with you all the different facilities that we are blessed with in MDIS. Now, part of the active learning approach also includes our guest speakers. We work very closely with the industry. We believe every school should actually stay close to the industry to leverage on the benefits of the industry. Workshops, industry visits, field trips, right? And so later I'm going to show you more about the different field trips within Singapore, out of Singapore, right? The experiential learning approaches. The classes delivered in MDIS are very carefully planned. Every lesson is carefully planned by our lecturers before they go in, right? It's broken down into, in fact, even into minutes, as in what happens in the first 5 minutes, next 10 minutes, what are the different experiential learning activities for our diverse learners out there. Now, in terms of lecturers, this is another area which we would like to say is our USP as well, because before joining us, there are two things you need. Of course, number one is the management experience in the industry, so that you can, relate to our students and share with them. And the next are the valid teaching certification. So these two are very important before you actually come into lecturers, and we ensure this. Why? Because we want to maintain the quality of our delivery as well as the quality of the curriculum. And different parts of the program that we shared with you earlier, like the professional diploma all the way to the master's, they prepare you for different entry level or supervisory level positions, or even management trainee positions within the industry. All right. So maybe at this point of time, I can share with you a little bit about our universities as well. So the University of Sunderland is one of those that we are quite privileged to work with. They are ranked top 10, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of hospitality, events, and tourism. Award winner in silver for teaching excellence. Nominated for University of the Year in 2013. So yes, we are very blessed, right, and very privileged to work with them. So like we mentioned earlier, these are full-time programs conducted in school, and as also mentioned, it takes a hybrid approach. So whether you can make it in class or you're not able to because you're not in Singapore, you can still join us online, right? The degree is 9 months and the master's is 12 months. Now moving ahead, this is the brief overview of the program for the Bachelor of Science. There are 5 modules over there. For the Masters, again, another 5. The beauty of this program is we do not dictate what you study. It's a research approach. You decide which is the area you want to go deep into and build your expertise and content knowledge, and our supervisors who are from different sectors of the industries will be assigned to you accordingly. So example, if you are choosing IT, right, for any of this research topic, we'll supplement or complement you with an IT lecturer from that sector to be your supervisor, especially for your major projects. And for every of the other subjects that you're seeing here, like I mentioned earlier, they must have the industry and the educational teaching certifications before they can even stand in front of you. Now, in terms of Edinburgh Napier University, they are top 25 as well in the UK for events, management, and tourism. One of the highlights is recently they just achieved 5 stars in the QS International University ranking, for quality of teaching, internationalization, and employability. And that's pretty important because the curriculum today takes a very international approach, and it's critical for every institute to ensure it is designed likewise, right, to consider diversity, to consider recontextualization according to the different continents where our learners come from. Okay, these are the modules for Edinburgh Napier University. So like I mentioned, this is 100% online. You don't need to come into Singapore. No matter where you are, you can come on board and you dictate your learning pace. You dictate the submissions. All the support that you need will be given from the uni or even from MDIS, right? So you've got both partners, MDIS and ENU, Edinburgh Napier University, to support your learning journey. Let's hear from our students now. This is Ms. Nazim. She's our current Master of Science student, and she's doing the MSc in Tourism and Hospitality. Let's listen to her. Okay, so how do I do this? Yeah, okay.
Hi there, my name is Nazim. I'm from Kazakhstan, and currently I'm studying master's degree in Hospitality and Tourism Industry at MDISS Singapore. Although I'm still in Singapore, due to the outbreak of COVID-19, we had to shift to the online basis for our classes. We were having much less direct contact with our group mates, which I find pretty controversial because this could be a disadvantage as well, especially in case of group works. I would say it's more about the individual works, like writing reports, giving a presentation, or writing a major project like a research paper. Even though I've already possessed certain experience in writing a research paper due to my bachelor degree, also due to my experience of working as a research assistant, I believe MDIS has given me an opportunity to learn a lot more, especially from the lecturers that we have here. I find it pretty beneficial for my future career, as I'm looking forward to start my career in academia, in hospitality and tourism industry. I would really want to become a lecturer one day. I would definitely advise all of my friends and relatives to visit MDIS if they would want to study further.
All right, so that was Ms. Nazim. Ms. Nazim is actually originally from Central Asia, who studied in Switzerland as well, and who decided to pursue her postgrad with us in Singapore. All right. So what's the difference between research and coursework degree? Of course, like I mentioned earlier, a research degree means you decide to choose the sector, right? Quite different from coursework, where a lot of the learning experience is dictated. Over here, you decide to choose the topic, and comes together the challenge and enjoyment of independent research. So I, for one, my first master's was through coursework, and the second was research. Yes, I learned a lot from the coursework, but in terms of the research, I had the leeway, I had the flexibility to go in deeper into what I wanted to learn. And I think you would enjoy that liberty and freedom. And together with the support of the school, there's so much to be achieved through this method of research. Now, another benefit of research degree, all right, according to studies, it shows that research degree graduates are highly employable across many areas, and also indicates to prospective employers that you have excellent, management skills, especially for project, for time, and you're able to think independently and critically. There's a lot of work involved in research that I have to tell you up front now. We expect you to do a lot of readings, and as you move, through your readings, there's so much, in terms of knowledge to be gained, and that also taps on your analytical skills, which is required to also write, the way you structure your research project, and that also helps you to also improve your communication skills, right, in many ways. So the transferable skills developed through a research degree are usually more durable. And I think you would agree with that. Compared to exam and compared to research, of course the content and the latter sticks around longer. Okay, so we have spoken a lot about what we do here. We've spoken a lot about our products, but I think the time now is right for us to go through the visuals of the skill development initiatives and approaches that we have over here. A little bit of our students fully groomed. Like I mentioned, every class today takes a hybrid approach. So students who can join us in class, they're able to join us in class. Now those who can't, they will join us via Zoom. All right, so every class is also designed in a hybrid setting. And those are our computer labs that you see. A lot of collaborative study. Like I said, we actually deliver international curriculum for an international clientele of learners, so be prepared to work with people from different countries and be prepared to work with them very closely. It's not easy, but That's the whole challenge. And towards the end of the day, so much is gained from this. So we have a lot of different out of classroom, because we believe in an active learning experiential approach. So a lot of out of classroom experience. And we think that is very important for the tourism and hospitality industry. So over here you can see people from different countries coming together, to promote the tourism day through promotion of different countries like Vietnam, Korea, and so on. And part of it will also be designing, respective food and drinks to promote that country to all the other students in MDIS. Now in MDIS, we have different schools here, like the School of Fashion, School of Business. So there's also a lot of synergy for our students to get in touch with students from the other schools and, improve their networking and friendship. Workshops, yes, we planned a lot of this workshop throughout your learning journey. For example, we have, the fundamentals like presentation, like academic writing, but on top of that, we complement them with dining etiquette workshop. We think it's important for you to know how to eat first before we teach you the fundamentals of food and beverage. Barista bar wine workshops. We are blessed to have a culinary and baking facilities over here. We do the food hygiene workshop, especially for students before their internship. This is very important, right? And we bring in a lot of guest speakers. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, we work closely with the industry, and we have a wine supplier here who's teaching our students on wine appreciation techniques, right? Let's share more. Now, some of the other things we do is to be very honest, to share with you that the hospitality, tourism, and events industry is not a bed of roses. So we bring in a lot of industry experts to share, what are the things that the industry is looking for in graduates, how you can prepare yourself, how you can progress, what you can look forward to, and it's best to hear it from the experts. All right, so what else do we have? Industry visits, yes. This is a big part of our curriculum. Pre-COVID, of course. Right now, we're waiting for phase 3, and hopefully, things get better because our students are also getting restless to go out there and, to look at the industry and the offerings. And like I said, we have a huge population of foreign students here where it's their first time studying with us. So this is very important for their learning journey. Overseas visits, yes, Singapore is one of the top tourism cities in the world. Singapore is one of the top, in fact, the top MIC or meeting city in the world. And but we think it's still important for our students to visit other tourist cities within the region and compare it, and then come up with their proposal, or their research paper. Right? So like I said, a lot of foreign students come here, they experience Singapore, then they go to another city, they experience that city, and they put everything in front of them and they analyze. Right? So this is great for your learning experience. Now, we are a big believer in practical skills. Now let's share with you the different practical skills that we do here within our facilities. Right? So let's go.
slide and times.
Right, I hope you enjoyed the video and all the different practical skills training that our students go through in our training facility. So let's share with you all the different facilities we have here for you in MDIS. We have dedicated classrooms for lecturing, for computer training. In MDIS, we have the software called Opera that is used widely in hotels around the world. So we think that it's important for you to understand how that works and prepare yourself, especially for those keen in front office. We have our culinary studio. We have our bar, and this is where we put it to really good use. I'll tell you why in the next slide. And here students learn barista skills, mocktail, cocktail, wine appreciation skills. We have a dedicated housekeeping room. Students never used to be really interested in housekeeping, but today we are seeing a lot of interest as well in the journey to becoming a housekeeping manager and so on. And as maybe at this point in time I should share with you, housekeeping department is in fact one of the biggest departments in most major hotels. All right, we have huge theaters, lecture rooms to accommodate up to a couple of hundred people. Right, we teach fine dining over here. We believe that students should learn the highest form of restaurant service, and that would help them no matter where they go. And learning the rest of the skills like mid-level or coffee house or fast food becomes so much easier. Right, so we have the pastry studio. We have a little cafe which is run by our students, and this is for them to improve their customer service skills and understand the basics of running a small business. All right, and of course front office. Right, so like I mentioned, we are the premier provider in tourism hospitality events for a reason, and this is actually one of the major reasons as well, a fully equipped campus. And what have this evolved into? Like I mentioned, we won the 2018 Gold Standard Service Provider for Best Education in Singapore. Last year was actually a very good year for us. We won the 2019 Singapore National Cocktail Championship. We came in first and second in the student category. And when we took part in the international barista competition where schools from China, UK, Indonesia, and Malaysia gathered for this annual event, we were able to swipe all 4 gold medals. All right, so that's testimony of the training that we provide, which is of a very high industry and in fact international level in MDIS. All right, another reason why we are your premier education provider. Now, another piece of good news. This is the latest update for this year, and this happened last month, September. We took part again in the National Cocktail Championship, and again our school came in first and second. So we have Miss Kenny Deng from China with her wonderful drink First Love, Miss Kim Taeyeon from Korea, who was able to wow the judges with her drink called Sunset Bay. Right? And for this competition, we had various government and non-government private schools that took part, and we are glad to have made it again. So congratulations to all the students for all the hard work. Now, another big part about MDIS and why we call ourselves a premier education provider is our industry collaboration. We believe, like I said earlier, it's very important for every education institute to stay close to the industry, to understand the industry, and to work accordingly and prepare accordingly. So here we can see our students at the British High Commission. Every year we take part in F1, where our students not only get to see the race for free, but to understand how it's organized. Last year we were invited by MDISS, where we sent most of our postgrad and undergrad students to support their annual food and wine fair, where they were able to meet celebrity chefs to see what's new in terms of food and beverage. All right, so these are some of the industry partners that we work close with: RAS, the Bartender and Sommelier, and FBMA, and our students who join us will also get a chance to join the youth wing of these industry associations. And you decide which one you want to join, and you decide how far you want to go. You get to meet the professionals. You can adopt them as mentors. You can get them to help you with your assignments and so on. So there's so much of synergy going on between us and the industry. Right, and these are unique industry engagement activities that we do. We create a platform where we invite the industry to come together. Of course, the students, which is you get to organize this entire event. You get to create this platform. You get to see these people come together, network, share new ideas, share new products. But the most important thing is you get to network with them as well, right? So these are some of the industry engagement activities that we put in place here. And this happens every quarterly. So it's a great opportunity for you, right? Especially for international students who want to understand the industry further, or who want to talk to the industry professionals to understand, how to grow, how to develop yourself, and to network. Just some of our industry partners that we have over here. We work with a variety of industry partners, right? So you can see, let me show you more, in fact. All right, so these are the rest of them that we work with. Like I said, internship in hotels right now is getting a bit challenging, but we're still doing it, right, for the rest of the sectors like F&B mainly. Right, so some pictures of our students on internship. Right, let's listen to one of our interns, Anastasia. Miss Anastasia from Russia, who decided to continue her learning journey with us here in Singapore, and who's doing very well right now, enjoying her internship very well. This is another of our student who was our degree student and who did his internship in Shangri-La. And recently he went back again, and he was employed by Shangri-La again in China. Right? So great testimonies of our students doing very well. Now, here in MDIS, we don't think, or we don't believe in just stopping here when you graduate. In fact, upon your graduation, we take it upon ourselves to actually assist you with the different opportunities out there for you, right? In the terms of career fair, which we did last year and this year, right? We're glad to see so many of our industry partners come down and reach out a helping hand to our students in terms of their career development. And like I mentioned, there are various schools here in MDIS, so there are various other opportunities for synergy, or in fact, not only networking, but in fact, even in understanding how the different industries work. In terms of global employment, like I just mentioned, not only within Singapore, but also overseas as well. We work with different partners in and out to help you, right, to find that specific job that you're looking for as best as we can, right? So we work with HOSCO. What HOSCO actually does is they link you up with different countries of your choice, different cities, different types of hotel. You get to be interviewed directly by the hotel, and the rest is, of course, up to you. Right, let's listen to one of our trainees who graduated last year and who's doing very well right now with Marriott in Singapore.
Hi guys, I'm Eugene and I studied International Tourism and Hospitality Management in MDIS since 2017 to 2019. I'm currently working as Sales and Service Associate at Marriott. Basically, I'm in Central Reservation Team, which is in charge of global reservations in hotels worldwide. While working in Marriott, since it is B2C position, the soft skills are very required. I was able to apply the customer service module to my work. So for now, my soft skill was acknowledged, so one of my call was selected as Call of the Month in September. I was attracted by the fact that when you work in this industry, you have so many chances to meet the guests from different cultures, and you actually can experience their cultures indirectly. I was so interested in MICE industry, so I chose to work at MCI as Business Development and Sponsorship and Exhibition Sales Executive. I already had the basic knowledge of MICE industry through the theoretical classes. It helped me to blend into my position quickly. During my internship, I sold the exhibition and sponsorship related packages to the relevant companies, and I found out that I was quite enjoying the sales position. If you're considering to study tourism and hospitality, I strongly recommend MDIS as you can enjoy your classes with various resources and friendly lecturers.
Yep, and that's Eugene. Yes, and that's Eugene from who was our higher diploma student who completed her degree and who was immediately able to find a job in Marriott Singapore. So congratulations to Miss Eugene. Now, for the moment we've been waiting for, and I mentioned earlier we were pretty busy this morning. I'm going to tell you why, right? This is the latest update of the Singapore Book of Records. Right? So remember I told you that we won the Singapore National Cocktail Championship last month. So we decided to set a new record by using the same mocktail and putting it into the largest wine glass in Singapore. Right? And earlier on today we had the officials from the Singapore Book of Records coming down here to present the certificate for us for the largest wine glass commemorating the drink called First Love. Enjoy the video. So yes, congratulations to the team, the hard work involved, and for your information, that is the largest wine glass in Singapore commemorating the National Cocktail Winning Championship drink, right? So yes, that kept us really busy this morning, and I hope you enjoyed that. Now, to conclude my presentation, especially for Singaporeans, we welcome you to Singapore's premier education institute for tourism, hospitality, and events. And of course, here is the Skills Future Study Award. So for those of you with work experience, this is something you can consider to complement your learning journey and your fees as well over here. So if you are able to get this award, each of you will be able to get about $5,000 to offset the course fee. And I think that's great during this climate. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. And yes, have a great afternoon ahead. Cheers to you.